What do you know about St. Louis?
I love St. Louis. Right?
What about
family, right? Friends, Cardinals, care quotient, right? CQ.
Particular, and a little bit of where do you balance your role as an advocate that I signed up for last night, and that will be both your group. We'll bring in one of our journalists that Pulitzer Center has worked with, and he's going to talk with you. We have an opportunity here after viewing his short video in the room. If we're wanting to vote as a group, we could go outside and choose to eat our lunches outside and speak with Steve, the journalist, outside. There's a nice grassy area in the circle. I think you guys walked through that to get here. Global Gateway program. We're very excited to be able to do that today and get this big of a head start going into your school year. And with that Fall Global Gateway, we have a summer challenge for you.
Platform project, and that's one of the things that the Pulitzer Center is doing, and it's very cutting edge, I guess. You have to be this way these days. You can't just say, I'm going to produce something and it's just going to exist on paper, or it's just going to exist in one spot in video. You really have to think in terms of doing your projects as trying to reach out as many ways you can.
And how did you deal with the transition from going to a country in the Middle East to the United States, because there are obviously big cultural differences? Like, was that hard?
Well, I had my difficult times, especially when not even speaking English came into the United States. But, had a hard time and got to it.
How did you learn English?
I started, and I never been to school in my country back. So I came here, I started from 8th grade and go to it.
Negative income tax every year. Pardon me? 40+%. These are federal income taxes. 40% of all Americans do not pay any income tax during any given year. What percentage of all Americans pay a negative income tax? The government writes them a check. They have minus tax.
About
These aren't zero. You're talking minus. You're talking the government sending you a check.
45, 30.
About 25%.
So you talk about the consumption tax versus, the income tax. From your expertise, how do you think it's going to work? How do you think we're going to be able to pay to continue Social Security, or else do you think it's just going to go by the wayside?
I think there'll be cutbacks on benefits for upper income folks. I think ultimately we will have to adopt a value-added tax, because you simply can't. Remember, 1% of everybody is already paying 35-40% of all the income tax. 40% of folks are not paying an income tax at all. President Obama's promised he's not going to raise an income tax on anybody making $250,000 or less, which is more than 90% of everybody. So I don't know what you do about it, but I think a consumption tax is where it's going to come out. And then you need to figure out, is that fair or not? We'll get into progressive taxes and regressive taxes here in a second.
The Arch, and one of my coworkers used to live there and work there, and I buy it, and I know that it sways.
Excuse me, can you tell me what you know about St. Louis? What about the most important global issue?
Please?
Anything? Please?
We need your
Please?
Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
I've been there on. See how much is there?
All
all white, all white.
Made his name in the paper covering the civil rights movement in the United States, movement among the different races in South Africa. But you did have a victory with a large underclass of people who did not have education, and that's continuing to be, that's a challenge that South Africa has yet to face today. Mark.
You're colored or African, like did you guys like talk about this with each other, or would someone just
Who decided to
yeah.
really, the pivot train is there to deal with this huge wide squads students at every day, so they were really hard.
Three different ways, maybe four different ways of how to pay for it. And the test is going to be, you gotta, some of you have to tell me why it's a good idea, and some of you have, y'all have to tell me what's going on, and then you have to tell me why it's a good idea or a bad idea. And the first question is this: